Question number 1. Which of the following statements is correct concerning letters for underwriters, commonly called comfort letters? Letter A. Letters for underwriters typically give negative assurance on unaudited interim financial information. Letter B. Letters for underwriters are required by the Securities Act of 1933 for an initial public sale of registered securities. Letter C. Letters for underwriters are usually included in the registration statement accompanying a prospectus. Letter D. Letters for underwriters ordinarily update the auditor's opinion on the prior year's financial statements. Correct answer is letter A. Explanation. Letter A is correct because comfort letters exist specifically to give underwriters negative assurance, meaning nothing came to the accountant's attention suggesting a problem about unaudited interim financial information. They aren't legally required by the 1933 Act, they aren't part of the registration statement itself, and they don't update the auditor's prior year opinion. Question number 2. An accountant issues a comfort letter to an underwriter that includes comments on data that were not audited. What will the underwriter most likely receive regarding the data? Letter A. Positive assurance on supplementary disclosures. Letter B. A limited opinion on pro forma financial statements. Letter C. Negative assurance on capsual information. Letter D. A disclaimer on prospective financial statements. Correct answer is letter C. Explanation. Letter C is correct because unaudited data commented on in a comfort letter, often condensed or so-called capsule financial information, gets negative assurance rather than a positive opinion. Positive assurance and formal opinions are reserved for information that has actually been audited. Question number 3. An auditor is engaged to report on selected financial data that appear in a document also containing audited financial statements. Under these circumstances, what should the report on the selected data do? Letter A. Be distributed only to senior management and the board of directors. Letter B. Be limited to data derived from the audited financial statements. Letter C. State that the presentation follows a financial reporting framework other than GAAP. Letter D. Indicate that the data are not fairly stated in all material respects. Correct answer is letter B. Explanation. Letter B is correct because the report on selected data should stick to figures that actually trace back to the audited financial statements, keeping the auditor's association tied to work that was genuinely performed. There's no requirement to restrict distribution, invoke a non-GAAP framework, or state the data are misstated when that isn't the case. Question number 4. Unaudited financial statements are presented in comparative form alongside audited financial statements in a document filed with the SEC. Should those unaudited statements be marked as unaudited, withheld until audited, and referred to in the auditor's report? Letter A. Marked unaudited, yes. Withheld until audited, no. Referred to in the auditor's report, yes. Letter B. Marked unaudited, no. Withheld until audited, yes. Referred to in the auditor's report, no. Letter C. Marked unaudited, no. Withheld until audited, yes. Referred to in the auditor's report, yes. Letter D. Marked unaudited, yes. Withheld until audited, no. Referred to in the auditor's report, no. Correct answer is letter D. Explanation. Letter D is correct because unaudited statements simply need to be clearly labeled as unaudited, they don't need to be held back until an audit is completed, and the auditor's own report, which covers only the audited statements, doesn't need to reference them at all. Question number 5. An independent audit report is incorporated by reference in an SEC registration statement. In a prospectus statement about the accountant's involvement, how should the independent accountant be referred to? Letter A. Expert in auditing and accounting. Letter B. Auditor of the financial reports. Letter C. Management's designate before the SEC. Letter D. Certified preparer of the report. Correct answer is letter A. Explanation. Letter A is correct because once the audit report is incorporated by reference into the registration statement, the accountant is being relied on the way an expert's opinion is relied on under securities law, so the prospectus specifically refers to them as an expert in auditing and accounting. Calling him simply an auditor, a management designate, or a preparer would understate that specific legal role. Question number 6. Comfort letters are ordinarily signed by the clients. Letter A, the underwriter of securities. Letter B, the audit committee. Letter C, the independent auditor. Letter D, senior management. Correct answer is letter C. Explanation. Letter C is correct because a comfort letter is, at its core, the independent auditor's own letter to the underwriter, so it's the auditor who signs it. The underwriter is the recipient, not the signer, and neither the audit committee nor senior management is the party issuing this kind of letter. Question number 7. A CPA in public practice is asked, in connection with a proposal to obtain a new audit client, to prepare a report on the application of accounting principles to a specific transaction. What statement should the CPA's report include? Letter A, responsibility for the proper accounting treatment rests with the preparers of the financial statements. Letter B, the engagement was performed in accordance with statements on standards for accounting and review services. Letter C, the evaluation is hypothetical and may not be used for opinion shopping. Letter D, the guidance is for management's use only and may not be communicated to the prior or continuing auditor. Correct answer is letter A. Explanation. Letter A is correct because this kind of report specifically needs to make clear that the final accounting decision, and responsibility for it, belongs to the people actually preparing the financial statements, not to the CPA offering a second opinion. That distinction is what keeps this kind of engagement from being mistaken for an actual audit conclusion. Question number 8. A registration statement filed with the SEC includes the reports of 2 independent auditors, each covering a different period. From whom should the predecessor auditor, who audited the prior period, generally obtain a letter of representation? Letter A, the client's audit committee. Letter B, the principal underwriter. Letter C, the Securities and Exchange Commission. Letter D, the successor independent auditor. Correct answer is letter D. Explanation. Letter D is correct because the predecessor auditor needs assurance from the successor auditor specifically about anything found during the current audit that might affect the prior period's statements, before standing behind that prior report again. Neither the audit committee, the underwriter, nor the SEC is positioned to give that kind of assurance. Question number 9. Comfort letters are ordinarily addressed to: Letter A, creditor financial institutions. Letter B, underwriters of securities. Letter C, the client's audit committee. Letter D, the Securities and Exchange Commission. Correct answer is letter B. Explanation. Letter B is correct because comfort letters exist specifically for the underwriters handling a securities offering, giving them assurance to support their own due diligence obligations. Creditors, the audit committee, and the SEC aren't the intended recipients of this particular kind of letter. Question number 10. Which of the following matters is typically covered in a comfort letter? Letter A, negative assurance about whether internal control procedures operated as designed during the period. Letter B, an opinion on compliance with laws and regulations under government auditing standards and the Single Audit Act. Letter C, an opinion on whether the audited financial statements comply in form with SEC accounting requirements. Letter D, positive assurance that unaudited condensed financial information complied with GAAP. Correct answer is letter C. Explanation. Letter C is correct because comfort letters do typically include a statement about whether the audited financial statements comply in form with SEC accounting requirements, which is a genuine, specific opinion the accountant can give. Government auditing standards and Single Audit Act compliance don't belong here, and unaudited data only ever gets negative, not positive, assurance. Question number